Welcome to the openers of the Unoriginal Quickbuilds tournament. The rules are simple. 2 contestants have 30 minutes, a 24x24 block arena, and a theme just given to them. If one can beat the other in scale, detail, and originality for a score out of 30, they move on to the intermediates, and perhaps onto winning the Rose Cup. You know, like those old Minecraft machinima videos where people would like sort of move their heads as they were talking? You know, just like sort of move your head around. Perfect. There are 8 of these trapdoors, and we throw an egg above each one of them until one of them breaks, and then we open the trapdoor and see what theme is underneath. These themes have all been placed and replaced each round, and honestly, I've forgotten all of them. Oh,
okay,
wow,
we already got one.
It is... It is cozy. Okay. Also, Michael should be joining us. He is the 3rd judge for this round. Ethan is unavailable. Michael, fill in the plots as you can. But for now, perhaps let's get this show on the road. I'm going to give you guys your permissions. If you two are gaming to get gaming, then we can start gaming. Gaming?
Gaming.
Gaming. Okay, you're both ready? Then I'm going to start the timer. 3, 2, 1. You have 30 minutes. Good luck. Sort of like probably a cabin is what they're both going for. So honestly, points on originality off the bat are not looking very good.
What are we expecting from Sam? He's gonna be doing
Sam's knowing the build he has done that he sent to the group a while ago, he's gonna go for quite a high amount of detail. Honeydew looks to be going more filling up the space really nicely, very quickly. I do appreciate that, and I also appreciate, what is that, bone block? Or is that snow? It's snow. Monsieur Sam seems to definitely be going for a more detailed build rather than space filling build. I wish I could turn particle effects off. It would just make my life so much easier. Oh, wow. I mean, these people know how to build fast. I know, Sam, I don't want this to be into any sort of consideration because it just isn't fair. They chose to join the build competition with this at their disposal, but Sam is on an iPad and Honeydew is on a Switch, which isn't as great a contrast as iPad or you know, phone and PC, but it definitely makes it easier to not consider that when they both have Pocket Edition like Liam and Alex did. I sincerely hope that they put some fucking, you know, trees or some just bone meal the ground, just anything, you know, with the ground, like with the space around, because that was my biggest disappointment with both of their builds, because Liam could have made a very cool moss area around the house, but I must note the sort of use of stripped oak logs and normal planks together is very nice, and the detail with the stone is quite cool. This looks wow. I mean, this looks sussily tutorial-like, but I know like they're not following a tutorial because they are working so quickly.
Look, he built a penis. He built a penis. Look at it.
I do really like the scale amount that Honeydew is going for. I like that it's going, the daylight cycle is happening because these places need to feel cozy, and I feel like cozy implies interior design, like very good interior design, you know, fireplace, stuff like that. So I hope that you know, it being nighttime reminds them of the fact that they need lighting for it to feel cozy, in my opinion.
He's adding that extra stone detail.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, the detail is just amazing. I mean, using dry coral as part of the detail, it's just, yeah.
Wow, just wow.
Sam is the first to introduce lighting into their build.
You know what? Looking handsome.
Anyway, we haven't even hit the halftime mark, and I have to say, on all actual building metrics in terms of scale and detail, both of these builds are exceeding the expectations set by Liam and Alex. Because at halftime, I know, you know, 30 minutes can feel a bit. Some people can't understand how short that is, but I feel like Honeydew and Sam very clearly understand how long 30 minutes it is. I would say Honeydew more than Sam. I think Sam is still taking his sweet time, and that he will shortly realize that. He's using a similar housing technique to Liam over here, actually, like with the wood poking out on the side. I'd like to sort of just probably not think about originality until the build is done, but I do have to point out the obvious that one looks a lot more inspired than the other, shall we say.
Well, you also gotta understand that maybe he's just trying to get the whole shape down before he goes ahead and starts detailing, because if he starts detailing too early, maybe he'll run out of time to finish the whole build.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Which is always like the thing. It's one of those things where, do you want to build Do you want to go in the shape first and try and detail it later, or do you want to try and go ahead and detail it all at the same time, so you're just kind of working it sort of a gradient?
Right, yeah. Hello, Honeydew. I'm just hopping in to say that you have half time, approximately 15 minutes left. Good luck for the next half.
Shit, time really goes by fast.
I know. Is he building like a clock tower maybe or something? Because this is a very interesting design. I'm not really sure what I'm even looking for here, to be honest. I would consider them probably being worried about interior though. Fuck interior. They both still haven't done anything with the exterior. I'm so sick of this. Why can't one person just learn how to use the bloody floor to their advantage? It would be so much, like, the amount of scale and detail you get increased on if you just spammed your entire plot with bone meal. Not to give anyone future contestants who watch this video an upper hand, but I feel like that should be common sense.
I'm gonna go brush my teeth. I'm really fucking tired still.
Okay, cool. There's still 9 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock, so you got time.
Cool, I gotta kill time somehow.
Kill time. Where we're hiding the body. Yeah.
I hate you. It seems as though Sam has stopped to consider something. Oh, never mind, just fence gates. God damn it. There we go! Look at Honeydew go. Okay, it's almost like they read my mind. They're throwing in some stuff that's just going to make it very difficult to give them a low score for scale. I sincerely hope that they fill in a pathway from the entrance to their door. Like they make some path blocks there, because that would be very like an unused opportunity.
You underestimate how cozy grass floor would make your house.
One of them, like I said, definitely has the opportunity to be cozy. The other one, I just feel like is it's more imposing than cozy. I feel like they're literally going for a more detailed version of Liam's build. He's also going for the fill with trees. Yeah, almost as if we're walking in on a forest. I have to say, I love this filling of the land a lot more than I did the first round. It feels like it's a full build, both of them, you know.
You just say it.
Guys, questionable decision made here. Honeydew has put stone flooring on the inside. That makes it suddenly feel very, very not cozy. I'm very, very impressed by this round. I feel like this has set a new standard for how builders should go forward in terms of filling the plot up, and I'm very impressed, especially considering one of them is on Pocket Edition. It shows that Pocket Edition and console players have no excuse to filling up their area within 30 minutes.
Yeah, look at this one over here that Stuart made that took, an extra 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. That was a fat fucking house. It looks cool though, I like it.
Let's check the inside, see if there's anything on the inside.
I think there is a flooring. I may be wrong.
No, there's not.
Is there not? Oh, there's we don't go in there. They've put carpeting on the deck. They put a campfire in the ceiling so that it looks like there's smoke coming out of it. But the problem is that it's good that it's becoming nighttime. I think it's best to explore these bases at nighttime. Oh boy, the final touches are being put on here. 1-0.
Why are you having us hear the shit when...
I didn't mean for that to happen.
You didn't think this through.
All right, gamers, the time has come. The deed is done. The time is up, and I must say I'm very, very, very impressed with how both of your builds have turned out. I forgot that we're supposed to let them explain their builds if they would like to. What I would like to say is the trees put into the game fill up a lot of the space. They are obviously the quickest part of the build. Which of them put in way more trees to fill up the space rather than use actual building skill to fill up the space? I would be inclined to say that like almost 70% of the space here on Sam's side is tree, which takes like 5 seconds to plant each one, as opposed to Honeydew's side, the entire building takes up like 80% of the land. I think with scale, obviously it's very easy to just like, you could plant trees, you could plant the whole thing full of trees and give it a 10, but obviously no one would ever...
Isn't that what you were saying though during the commentary? You said, okay, yeah, why are none of them planting trees? Why are none of them using the grass? Like,
yeah, that's what I said, but that didn't mean that obviously that can result in getting a 10 out of 10 if you fill your entire plot with trees, because that's not it's their effort put into scale. And if let's say it's the reason it's smart to fill it with trees when you don't have the time is because, you know, it gives you a good point score for scale. But if you are going to fill 90% of your, I'm not saying that's what Sam did, but I'm saying if you're going to fill 90% of your build in with trees, obviously that can't be considered a 10 because you put no effort into the scale, which is why I'm saying I would be more inclined to give Sam's a 9 and Honeydew's a 10.
I agree with those numbers.
What do you think, Michael? Are you still standing by your 10?
I can agree with them.
I
Yay.
have to say, what is there is incredibly detailed on Sam's side, and I would be very inclined to give it a 10.
But
No.
what?
Inside
what
is not detailed. Inside is not detailed.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I was gonna
I
say,
totally did
what
not
is
see
Copped
that.
out.
The
copped
inside
out.
He
gonna do
copped
about
out.
this? I feel like there's no ways we can give this a low score.
No,
for
I
messing up
mean,
the
definitely
interior.
not a low score,
think
but definitely
a
not
lot
a
of
high
it's
score.
made up for.
I would probably say 8. I would be more inclined to say 8
I
than
agree
7.
with 8 as a number.
So then we can go with 7.5.
I said 7.
And then let's move over here. There is no, you know, sort of like variation in
detail.
block palette. Like everything is a very sort of, you take a step back and it looks detailed, but when you go in close, there's no variation with stone. However, there is an interior,
And,
a built
And I'm
interior.
noticing
you know.
mistakes as well.
There's no staircase up to the next floor, which is obviously a bit sussy. There are a few
There's
sort of
also
errors like hanging
the-
campfires in the ceiling.
Inside the second floor, there's no like ceiling. It just goes straight up to the roof.
What are we doing with the mistakes though?
because
mistakes
there's a lot of
can sometimes
laziness.
be fine, but in this case, I feel like they don't even look
They're
like they
pretty
could
gross
be
mistakes.
intentional. They're just, they just are
Yeah.
mistakes. But that is the, you know, consequence of getting a 10 for scale. I would be inclined to say that that
I
the
said
detail in
8
places is
just because
very,
of like some
yeah.
things are like pretty, you know, not that detailed.
I would say
the
7 personally.
Yeah,
I would say 7.
I feel a 7. Yeah.
It's a
So-
very good base structure, and I would be interested to see what like they could have done with an extra, you know, 10 minutes, which is why I'm interested to see how the intermediates go, how people fare with 45. Okay, then next is the one which I think
Originality.
should honestly give them the most hurt, originality.
These scores are looking low.
I think Sam's is more original because it doesn't look like your typical, you know, sort of log. It looks like something you might find
like
in
a
the
bell tower.
in the mountains that had to be built vertically because of some fucking reason or other, and it has, you know, sort of stone keeping it in place or something. If they
Going.
build exactly what you would picture in your mind for something basic, then
Problem.
you give them a 5.
What is the minimum you can get a 5 or like? Is
Yeah,
like anything lower than a 5 before at least?
it's not the minimum you can get as a 5. It's the idea that if you try and interpret it too originally and it just gets way off the mark, like really obscure, then you're gonna get like a 2 or a 1. Like if one of these guys build a motherfucking spaceship, you know, like they would have gotten an incredibly
It's a
low
spaceship with
score.
the campfire, therefore it's cozy.
But it's
Okay,
it's difficult to get a high score for originality, but it's difficult to get a low score for originality. Is kind of supposed to be the idea. I would consider it more original than a classic log cabin at least. So I would probably be inclined to give it a 6 because there's so much you can do with cozy. Like just think about like it's so
this
broad,
whole thing
and
could have
they
been an interior. Like,
Exactly,
this whole
yeah.
build up could have been an interior.
they-
Which would have lost shit on detail because there's no exterior, but like
But the fact that, you know, the cozy, both of them went for log cabins, it has to mean that it's the basic idea, and because of that, they just need to not be able to get a very high score for originality, I think.
Honeydew's house just does not feel cozy to me.
Yeah,
I
the
will not lie.
stone definitely
It's-
didn't help.
it makes you feel cold.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm literally thinking 4 and 5.
I was thinking 6 and 5.
7 on the left, from a distance and like even up close until you get to the interior, it looks like a very cozy design.
Exactly, yeah.
Because there's not a lot of like jarring, like
Visible,
everything
upfront.
looks kind of like fitted in there. And then on the right here, like you get up close to it and there's a whole bunch of like very white blocks.
So I'm gonna go 6 for Sam. What are you guys thinking?
I can agree with that.
Matthew, you still going 4?
Okay.
So yeah, it does average out on 5.5. So go 5.5 for Sam. All right, now comes Honeydew. From a distance, does it look like a
Yeah.
classic interpretation
So
of
that is
cozy?
why-
Probably not even, but it doesn't feel like an original interpretation of cozy that emphasizes coziness. It feels like an original interpretation of cozy that actually takes away from coziness. I
It
would
just kind of looks like a general house to me.
Yeah, I
It
would
looks
say-
like just someone's general house.
But that doesn't mean it's an original interpretation of the theme. I feel like that detracts from the coziness rather than emphasizes it in an
Right.
original way. And so I would say
Right.
Why the
that
fuck
I
did
would
it
rather
change?
give I would rather give it
I'm
a
okay saying
3.
a 4.
I think that like the B&B aspect would add a 0.5 that I take away from not having.
Oh, we do have to make that. That's kind of cute because Sam refused to elaborate. Really, like he just said exactly what is the classic. Honeydew did go and try and make it like a B&B. Like that should.
Oh shit.
That's an original sort of interpretation of something. Like a sort of the cozy feeling of waking up with people and sort of having that experience.
What I was getting to is they are equally unoriginal. If I had given Sam a 3, I would have given Honeydew a 3.
I would change my score from a 3 to probably like a 4, maybe a 4.5, rather than a 3 because it gives sort of a. But no, I have to just focus on the fact that the house itself detracted from the coziness. 4.
I'm going 4 as well.
And Matthew?
5, so it's 4.
If it's 4, 4, 5, then we go 4.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've added them up. Sam got 22 and Honeydew got 21.